All right, so we're going to be talking about should you list your home higher or lower to depending on interest and where you're at. So, picking your listing price is something that is very challenging. And there's some agents that go out there and demand and say, no, I'm only listing this home for $650,000 and not a penny more. And then there's some agents that will list that $650,000 home for $800,000, and it will sit and the sellers will be in doom and gloom the entire time. So when you're listing your home, your list price is going to fluctuate depending on the market, where you're going, your timeline. Of course, if you're not in a very motivated state, your price is probably going to be higher. If you're extremely motivated, your price is probably going to be lower. That's usually what we see. Of course, there's the rarity of being in a seller's market right now and undervaluing the property to entice a multiple offer situation. However, the market is so strong right now, you are finding that agents are listing their home at market value, and it's still going well above that, like well above that. So the market's just crazy right now. But in a normal market situation, you want to make sure that your days on market and how long your property is going to take to sell is going to help influence your pricing decision. I know everyone wants to sell for the most amount of money, and most professional real estate agents want to get the most amount of money for their sellers. However, if your timeline is affected, you can't be holding out for this, lucky $800,000 number if your home should be priced at $750,000 and might sell for 745, let's just say. No matter what, you can't hold out for the 800,000 because the buyer is not going to come. In a normal market, the buyer just won't come. I mean, your house probably won't be showing if it's $50,000 overpriced, because the good agents know and see that listing overpriced. And usually what we find is those listings that are overpriced sit longer. Their list price to sale price is a far wider gap because they've sat on the market longer. I have a very savvy buyer and an investor client of mine, and he just watches, and he literally has a search from 180 days to 160 days and all the homes that are in that bracket, because he knows chances are all of those homes are overpriced, and chances are somebody in that list, not to say everybody's motivated, but somebody in that list is going to need to sell, or that could potentially be getting desperate. So that's how he goes after those specific properties. So a little strategy there, but you don't want to be one of those people in that 120 180 day bracket. Our average days on market right now is 67 days to sell. So if you're worried about moving and timeline and where are you going, one of the things that you want to consider is after 30 days, where are we going to be at? To ask your real estate agent, where are we going to be at in 30 days, where are we going to be at in 45 days, and what does that look like when we're there if we have no offer? Where are we doing? What are we doing to market the property differently? Are we, dropping the price $50,000, or are we dropping the price $10,000? What is going to keep people's eyeballs on our property? Because the longer it sits on the market, it goes staler and staler and staler. So we're at the point where people just become blind to it on the MLS. It's just like, oh, it's that house again, it's that house again, it's that house again, and they're not even going to really open it up and look at it. So pricing is crucial and something that you should definitely consider. Looking at the comparable properties, what's recently sold, what's recently active. In this market we're at now, and I mean in any market realistically, I think the active comparisons are almost more important in my opinion than what's recently sold, because as a buyer, if you're going to look at four similar properties and you go, well, this is beautiful, they've got new hardwood floors, they just did a brand new IKEA kitchen with granite countertops, and they put in new windows, and you're competing against a bigger lot, maybe, let's just say, and the home, nothing's been done to it inside and everything else, you're going to have a challenge selling for the similar price of that other home without those benefits. So it's really about what the buyer is going to find the most valuable and they're going to purchase. So again, that affects your timeline. And so there's a lot of moving parts there with pricing your property. Hopefully I covered some of them for you and answered your question, but definitely get some representation and talk to your real estate professional about how to price your home strategically in any market for the most amount of money that's going to net you the most amount of money in the least amount of time.